Alright, hello everyone, and we have some massive news today because Creative Assembly have decided to drop a blog on Nagash. There's a lot of details coming into his campaign, including probably one of the most beautiful tech trees, I guess, in a sense, I've ever seen. It's definitely going to be something very, very special, but before anything, we do have to talk about a bunch of stuff. First up, there is just like a bit of lore, which we don't really need to talk about. Like many of us know who Nagash is. Here's the reason why undeath is so prevalent across the Warhammer fantasy world. They go into basically his story. I don't think that we're going to get an ebook at this time, which is a bit shame. It's understandable. I think everyone knows Nagash now. So let's talk about some other stuff. We need to really discuss campaign gameplay. Oh my god. So, campaign gameplay is claiming what is rightfully his. Nagash has mastery over all flavors of undeath. As he captures settlements, he can transform them into summoning grounds for the staggering variety of all undead units. Coastal settlements become pirate coves, while inland settlements can be fashioned into burial chambers or mausoleums. Across these settlements, Nagash gains access to recruitment options across the Vampire Costume Kings and Vampire Count rosters. So basically following the lore of the end times, the tabletop version, because the Vampire Coast didn't really exist during the tabletop. This is cool. I was worried that it was just going to be a tabletop version because sometimes the game follows more the tabletop than it does the lore. Let's continue. The crowning landmarks of Nagash's campaign are necropolises, major settlements which form the very foundation for Nagash's Land of the Dead campaign mechanic. A necropolis gathers necromantic energy from each region in its province, and from those in every province bordering it. Necromantic energy is spent on construction of necropolis buildings, increasing the faction's unit capacities and raising units instantly in the province via the Grave Call recruitment option, though units can still be recruited as normal using dark energy. Each necropolis is a powerhouse of elite unit construction, offering advanced military structures to raise the mightiest warriors from each flavor of undeath. Dude, I'm so hyped for this. The idea of having just a pure mix is going to be so cool. Then we get some nice artwork and some details here. We're not creating nightmarish combinations of undead warriors. Nagash conducts arcane research deep in the bowels of the vast Black Pyramid. This is his starting settlement and the source of much of his campaign development. The Black Pyramid feature contains a vast array of nodes which govern upgrades for all aspects of Nagash's campaign and the many units he can recruit. These upgrades require empowered sigils within the Black Pyramid. This can be done through many sources, but principally by constructing and improving necropolises, so his faction strength moves hand in hand with his territorial conquest and necropolis construction. So essentially just, you'll get these naturally as you play through your campaign and take major settlements. Okay, yeah, that sounds cool. All right, let's talk about them, right? So the Black Pyramid looks like a Path of Exile skill tree. That's so freaking cool, man. Oh my god. So there is a lot here, and we know that you're going to be able to get a decent amount. I don't know how much we'll be able to get, but there is a lot of bonuses, and some of them do get explained because you can go through section and section of other infantry, winds of magic, and the rest. Wow. Wow, I mean, this is really, really different. See, this is what should have happened to Daniel, right? This is what I kind of envisioned for Daniel if you go back a few years. So, whew. Like, I don't know how to, like, react to this because it's it's certainly very different. It's certainly very, very different. But this makes me very hopeful for future content packs, whether it be here or 40k, because it looks like the developers are finally going, yeah, we don't need a traditional tech tree, let's just go all out. And where appropriate, of course. We get a little bit more detail here. So next on Nagash's to-do list is subjugating the Mortarchs to his service. These are the legendary lords and heroes whom Nagash has chosen as his lieutenants, and each has their own unlocked conditions. Subjugating any of the legendary lords, namely Arkan the Black, Neferata, Luther Harkon, plus Vlad and Manfred von Karstein, grants you immediate ownership over their empires and their forces. Oh, okay. So it's just with the vampires that don't get all the other stuff. Okay. There are also 3 legendary heroes in the form of Dieter Helschnitt, Wallach Harkon, and Krell, plus a poltergeist follower known as the Nameless. who grants any lord he is assigned the ability to possess enemy units before battle. Ah, dude, the Nameless is... Oh my god, I'm kind of disappointed there. Because I was hoping, that CA would go, oh yeah, we'll do the Nameless, but if you play as the Empire, you can have him as Lufa. Yeah. I mean, that so far is the only bad thing we've heard so far, right? Let's continue. I know it's probably not as important to some people, but I really like Huss. I'm actually painting up Huss recently for an army. Anyways, let's continue. Oh, and Nagash really wants his stuff back, recovering the books of Nagash from the various armies and settlements around the world who currently hold them. Nagash can empower them to grant extra spells from the laws of light, vampires, death, and Nehekara. All told, Nagash's campaign is a rampant power fantasy made real, which is only fitting for the Supreme Lord of Undeath. I mean, yeah, again, barring the Lufa Huss thing, all good. Alright, so now we have to talk about the battle roster. So, Nagash is first. If Nagash was simply a mage, he'd be the most powerful spellcaster in the game, with the Law of Undeath at his beck and call, plus additive spells, I thought I was going to say addictive, god my brain, from the laws of light, death, vampires, and Nehekara, granted by the knowledge of his lost books. He's a magical juggernaut. Well, wouldn't Kairos still be the most strongest considering how he can tool his laws? We'll have to see, I guess. But he isn't simply a mage. Tooled up with his legendary armor and weapons, he's an absolute killing machine. His Staff of Power, Alakanash, can pulse out vortex which repels attackers, while his Mortis Blade, Sefet Nefbar, can trigger explosions which return any damage as health for Nagash. Ooh. Okay, cool, a leech. Plus, his Arch Necromancer ability is a one-shot finishing move for enemy lords and heroes. When activated, it deals eye-watering levels of damage provided by they're already seriously wounded. Yeah, so it's an execute. All right. As all well enough, Nagash is the master of combat necromancy. He is able to unlock a range of Rise, Gravecore army abilities, enabling him to raise units in the thick of battle. What would you expect from anything less from the Supreme Lord of Necromancy? There goes my cat. I gave him a cat mouse toy, like one of those catnip toys, and yeah. But it seems that you'll be able to get some extra units from Rise. So basically, what, spawn a whole army in, essentially? That's what happened, essentially, if you kind of like... What was it? It was like a 4d6 worth of Grave Guards. Sometimes you could get like bigger stuff. The end time stuff was just ridiculous back then in the tabletop. And if you guys are saying, well, he's going to be overpowered and he's not going to be too fun, he's supposed to be overpowered. It's the end times. A lot of characters just get stupid overpowered. Dieter Helschner is a legendary hero, which is cool to see because he's a very, very cool character. So the Doom Lord of Middenheim, Dieter, can be subjugated by Nagash to become one of his Mortarchs and proves a blisteringly powerful offensive spellcaster in the field, wielding a blend of damage spells from the laws of vampires and death. He also has a bound burning spell and can access a unique undead manticore as a mount. He can also be unlocked by the vampire counts too. Okay, so just him. I don't think Coast are going to get anything. We're going to have to see. I'm a little bit worried there because I want them to get something at least. But, I mean, he looks great. So that's the most important thing right now. Wallach looks incredible. I absolutely adore him. So he's a combat caster hero, which, to be fair, he shouldn't really be. He should have very limited magic because Blood Dragons don't really cast a lot of magic. But famed Blood Knight and veteran of the Vampire Wars, Wallach Harkin, is another of Nagash's Mortarchs. A practitioner of the lore of vampires, he's also a potent melee specialist wielding the Crimson Blade, which grants him magical attacks. Wallach also carries his iconic Blood Chalice into battle, which he can drink to regenerate lost health, or coat his sword with for extra melee punch. Okay, so he can be... Yeah, that's an interesting... Yeah, I mean, it can either be a heal or a debuff. Well, a buff. And he can also be unlocked by the Vampire Counts. We already know this because it's part of one of the tech trees. So we have a generic Lord option, which is the High Lich Priest, and I mean, yeah, it's about time. It's the Hierophant, everyone's been wanting one. We get a little bit of information here. So Regal Spellcasters of Nehekara, these lords can be recruited to wield the laws of Nehekara, light, death, and undeath. Their Gaze of Usirian ability can also instill terror into anything less than the mightiest combatant, and they're capable of summoning massive poisonous scarab tomb swarms to create no-go areas. It's the ability, not a unit, which is a shame because there's a really cool interpretation now for the old world. Really, really cool. The High Lich Priest can also be recruited by the Tomb Kings faction, which is expected. Heralds are coming in and they've got banners. That's never going to get old for me. Oh my god, we finally have BSB units. It's just so nice. So Tomb Heralds are moderately armored melee combatants whose real value lies in their support abilities. They can regenerate undead units around them using the icon of the king, granting rising leadership bonuses as they fight. They can also be recruited by the Tomb Kings, which, I mean, is expected. So basically anything that's a Tomb King will be recruited by the Tomb Kings, right? I'm just so happy about this because BSBs, man. BSBs is one of my biggest bugbears. We never had BSB units in Total War, and they're so important for the tabletop aspect for not only fantasy, but Old World now too. So it's good to see. So Drakenhof Templars are a thing, which kind of surprised me. I'm not going to lie, it kind of threw me off. But these heavily armored vampire cavalry are adept at tar-pitting enemy monsters and cavalry. Keeping them pinned away from your other units, they pay out high armor-piercing anti-large damage, and their Drakenhof banner grants them bonus life from any healing sources, helping them turn almost any encounter into a favorable one. Pair them up with a Tomb Herald for outstanding survivability, and they can also be recruited by the Vampire Counts, which works really well if you like playing as Vlad, for example, because, yeah, this is his elite core. Spirit hosts are weird because they are classed as elite ethereal chaff, right? I mean, they were good back in the day, but I wouldn't count them as elite. We'll have to see how they play in game. But what the knife-wielding ethereals of the spirit host lack in damage, they more so make up in penetration. Their magical armor-piercing attacks, oh, so they gave them a ton of armor pen, okay. Which slow their opponents with frostbite, combined with their high entity output, means that they're surprisingly effective at swamping, pinning, and damaging heavily armored units. Spirit Host can be recruited by the Vampire Counts. It sucks that it's not for the coast. This, if anything has to be given to the coast, it should be this too, because it makes sense. They use Spirit Host. It's known in lore. But I guess maybe Games Workshop said no, or maybe CA didn't ask. Either way, I like seeing swarm units, so the more swarms, the better. More cast archers are going to be anti-large, so there's two different types. The anti-large one is as follows. One of Nagash's most potent creations. They're not his creations, though. Technically not. They're supposed to be like former angels from Assyrian's realm. The Mortarchs archery are giant winged constructs whose two-handed glaives pay out monstrous levels of armor-piercing damage. If your opponent's heavily armored units, especially larger ones, are giving you pause for thought, these are the apex killers to reach for. Wing them forward and watch the carnage unfold. I mean, they look cool. Big glaives, big damage. It's weird seeing these because obviously they're so common now for Age of Sigmar. That's probably what they got the description from, because they're not like constructs. They're supposed to be former angels. But, I mean, yeah, this is cool though. Morghast Harbingers are the next one. So these are elite anti-infantry flyers, and they're very similar. The only difference is that they've got, well, additional hand weapons, so they're just anti-infantry. I mean, that's super cool. I'm really excited for this because, yeah, I mean, who isn't, right? You've got two big flying beastie units. Hopefully they're quite good. The Nagash mod interpreted one as a hero. I could have kind of seen it the same way, but maybe it just works out really well here differently. There's the Kenric Titan also. So this is a colossal construct monster. It's the big beetle. Never had a model back in the day. So I'm really happy that we're finally seeing this brought to life. You know, Games Workshop, if you're watching, make this a thing. Make this a thing. So taking the form of a monstrous scarab beetle, the Kenric Titan is a terrifying construct whose damage outputs becomes truly lethal when combined with its abilities. Oh, its armor is near impenetrable. It emits a cloud of flesh-eating scarabs mid-combat, and a powerful explosive magical missile ability rounds off its armaments, making it a do-it-all death machine that's incredibly hard to kill. Kenric Titans are also available to the Tomb Kings, which is good because beautiful. And last but not least is the Coven Throne, so a magical anti-infantry scout chariot. What a mouthful. The Coven Throne is useful in a number of roles on the battlefield. Its Blood Omen's ability can reveal hidden enemies, nice, making it a neat early battle scout. It's also great for supporting frontline troops with combat start buffs and melee debuffs against enemy units. It's handy in a fight too, dealing pokey armor-piercing damage, though its lack of armor means it's better suited for us to do swift flank or rear charges on its already pinned units. So they can be also recruited for the vampire counts, and yeah, I guess that makes sense. Remember that obviously these are also a mount for like Neferata. yeah, I'm looking for. It's going to be interesting to see how these work, because obviously this is the sister to this model, or the brother to this model, probably better yet said, is the Mortis engine, and the Mortis engine is beautiful. You know, in terms of damage, you can get like loads and loads out of the way. So I'm looking forward to see how this one works. Other than that, there's 3 regiments of renown. So it's like the Icon of Usirian, which is a giant Chimeric Titan, the Sepulchrex, which is just some Upshati, which I wasn't expecting, and the Silent Legion, and another unit of Mortarchs. Yeah, I mean, this all looks good. I can't stop thinking about that freaking tech line, though. That's the thing that's keeping me entertained. That's the thing that's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to play this. This is probably, maybe Nagash will be my first campaign. It might be over. Because, yeah, this is wild. Absolutely wild. I'm over the moon with the fact that CA are finally going, let's just go all out and do whatever we can. Yeah, I'm pretty keen on what's going on. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's start a bit of a discussion. I do apologize if I'm a little bit all over the place today. I am running around. It's one of those days where everything is kind of snuck up on us. And we didn't get the blog early. CA are busy. A lot of them are traveling to Germany right now. So communication and planning does become a little bit difficult. Have a great day, guys. See you soon. Bye.